Hello and welcome to this, my fourth video since the coronavirus changed our lives. Now normally I would be getting organised for my Christmas wreath workshops. However, this year things are slightly different. So for the first time in 9 years, I can't host as many workshops as I would normally do. So what do? Come up with a kit. And this video will show you how to create your own wreath. So let's see what's inside. I've done them in two colourways, so you can see this is the traditional with the tartan, and in the kit you have everything you need to create your own wreath at home, except for the fresh foliage. You have to collect that yourselves, but I can explain all that. Now, for those of you that have attended my workshops in the past, you know that we always work with one of these, the wreath base. And that's made up of a copper ring with moss bound around. Now, it's quite fashionable to just have the moss like that. It's more environmentally friendly, but the problem with it, if you put this on the door, it can damage it. If you put it on the table and use it as a table centre, it can damage it. So what I suggest is this plastic that's biodegradable, and it just keeps everything moist. So you start with the wire, and the first thing you do is pop the wire in and just wind it around a couple of times. Now, if you were on one of my workshops, you would have the conifer all ready for you. However, as I can't really put fresh conifer or foliage in the boxes, I suggest you collect from your garden. You can use lilandi, which smells beautiful, ivy, any evergreen, that's what you're looking for, any evergreen foliage. I've got some different conifer here collected from the garden. I've got some holly with berries on it, and then I've also got yew, which is a fantastic foliage to use. Now, what you'll notice with the conifer and the yew, they have short green foliage leaves. These will last the whole season through, so that's why we use conifer on our wreaths. What I would suggest you do is cut the foliage up into little bunches, sections like this, gather together with your hands, and it's probably easier to work on the flat, but I'll do it here so you can see. You pulled your wire round, it's in there tight. The ends, just the ends of the conifer, go round once, twice, and that's secure on there. So then you would add a little bit of holly, and you need to work in the same direction at the same time, and layer on top of each other. So don't just put a thin section on, layer. Okay. So I think you can see what I'm doing there, and then I'll come round to the next section, put a bit on there and wire it round. So you've got the idea. Now, rather than you watch me doing this, which will be pretty tedious, you need to practice and practice. In the grand edition, here's one I made earlier, and that has been made using all foliage from the garden. So nothing's bought, no bought foliage on that one, it's just all made from the garden. And as you can see, I've got everything going in the same direction. I'm covering inside and outside, and I'm coming forward, so layer. Now, here we go, the fun bit. Decide where your top is. And again, for those of you that have done the workshops, you're very familiar with what I do. I've been doing them 9 years now, tried and tested, they work and they're popular. This is the ribbon that we're going to use if we wanted to hang it onto the door. Of course, you could have it on a table centre like that, put a candle in, and it would look beautiful. But we're hanging this on the door. So we place it on the top. It is very strange, but I think with these things, you can use these, you can order the kit for friends or family. You can do a virtual FaceTime workshop with your friends and the family, coming back to this video. All instructions are with the kit as well, and the kit will be available to order on my website for £35. If you'd like me to post it, I think it's £9.95 postage and packing. It's quite weighty, so that obviously adds up. The longer, wider bow ribbon, I'm just going to create a bow. Now you could just leave it like that. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. All the foliage on that at the moment is perfect, and there are so many berries. Of course, by the time you want to make your wreaths, the berries won't be around, will they? So we may need to add some embellishments. So there, that's my wreath. Then I'm going to add, I've got the dried oranges here, I've got the cinnamon sticks, and it really does smell like Christmas when you've got these. I've wired some pine cones, and then I've got some baubles for a bit of colour, and these are useful to if you've got the holly and no berries. So I'm just going to decide where I want to place those, and you just literally pop them into the moss. Now the great thing with moss is that if you want, you can put fresh flowers in here because the moss will keep them moist. Dried flowers would look equally as good in these wreaths. Succulents, anything you want really, but obviously there's only so much I can put in the kits. I mean, if you think that I should be adding other things, I'm always happy to hear suggestions. This is the first year of creating the kits, and it'll be interesting to see how well they go. The response so far has been very good. People seem quite keen on them. So look, those dried oranges on there just, oh, give it such a fantastic smell. Of course, if it does go on the door, the berries won't last long because the birds will be after those. So I'm just popping in my cinnamon sticks. It's all so easy. Everything's wired. So I've done all the hard work for you. So you can literally just play. I think I'll pop that one there. And because you can stick them in, if you're not happy with where they are, just lift them out again. Okay, and then finally, the pine cones in. And you can see how it adds all to the beauty of this. It is a natural looking wreath, really. You could put pheasant feathers in this one if you wanted. I've done that for quite a few. Obviously, if you do want to come to one of my workshops, please, they're all online. You can book on those. I think there are some spots available. We're also going to be we're going to be doing table centres as well, but that'll be closer to Christmas. So again, please keep an eye on Facebook, but look on my website as well. And you'll see all the details on there, how to book on and pay. It's proving very popular, that booking online system. I resisted it for so long, but it works really well. So I think I'm just going to add one here. And with these, because they're on softer wires, you can just wrap those around the stems of your foliage. So there is your Christmas wreath created with your Christmas wreath kit. So that's the traditional one. I think you'll see it's fairly straightforward. All the instructions will be with it. And then if you're interested in the other style, that's the silvers and the whites. And what foliage I've used on here is this is Elaeagnus from the garden. Now the front of the leaf is green, but the back is white, and I think it works really well with that arrangement there. So please, if you'd like one of these kits, please look onto my website. There are vouchers available for workshops that I will be running in the new year. So all I can say is a very early Happy Christmas.